Hi students, and welcome to today's live IELTS class. My name is Adrian. I'm streaming to you from beautiful Victoria here on the west coast of Canada. I hope everybody is having a great weekend so far. Welcome Emre, hi Amrit, welcome members. This is a members chat class, and in this members chat class we are focusing on IELTS Task 2 writing. Topic on money and happiness, a very common philosophical question in most people's lives around the world, and that's what IELTS Task 2 writing is usually about. Some topic that most people have thought about at some point in their lives, and certainly whether or not money and happiness are closely related is a common question for many people during their lifetime. This lesson, everyone, is brought to you by aehelp.com. For academic IELTS, visit us there. For the general IELTS, check us out at gieltshelp.com. On both of those websites, we have lots of help for you to improve your IELTS writing scores. With editing services as well as videos, interactive lessons, tips and strategies for the writing section. The academic IELTS website looks like this at aehelp.com. You can click this big red button that's just above my head here to join our premium package. And we are an official IELTS test registration center and certified agents. So we are in close connection with British Council, and we have a very good idea of what is going on with IELTS exams, their construction, their marking, their administration. So if you have questions, you can always let us know. For general IELTS, it's the same idea. It's gieltshelp.com. And again, it's this big red button here that you can click to join our premium IELTS package. When you click that button, you can use this code for a 20% discount. HELP20. HELP20 will get you a 20% discount from the full price. It doesn't cost a lot, and it's a one-time payment for lifetime access, so it's really worth it. You get apps, of course, as well to work with the websites. Academic IELTS Help, General IELTS Help. You can download those apps from your app stores, from Apple and from Google Play. We probably are the world's most popular IELTS course that you can find. And if you have questions, you can certainly send me an email, adrian@aehelp.com. I will be happy to answer any questions that you have about IELTS, English, even questions about moving to other countries, especially Canada, because I'm Canadian. So questions are welcome. And we have lots of live YouTube IELTS classes coming next week as well. We still have two today, this class, and then speaking part 3 afterwards. So make sure to hang out for that. And then on the 16th, we continue with speaking part 1. Now, also, next week, we have an extra class. We have this Lighthall class, speaking class on Lighthall. Lighthall is a really awesome new piece of technology for live teaching. So you can register for this class for free on the 19th. And then the week after as well, you can register for the class. I'll put those links into the chat so you can check those out. And you can also check out one of our latest speaking videos here. So lots of resources for you for speaking as well. Students, without further ado, Thank you for listening to that valuable information. Let's get into IELTS Task 2 writing, and it's a very provocative and common kind of question, I think, that people often debate with others and with themselves in life. So let's tackle this, and it's an interesting one. So here we go. IELTS Writing Task 2, you should spend about 40 minutes on this task, and it's important that you practice that time limit. That is a very important parameter for the Task 2 essay. So you have 40 minutes, and in that 40 minutes, you basically have to take the following steps, okay? In the 40 minutes, the way that you need to think about the 40 minutes is you have to plan about, let's say, 4 minutes. Okay, you have to write, which should take you about 30 minutes. So you really have only about half an hour. That's how you should think about it, 30 to 32 minutes. And then review. For about another, well, I'd say anywhere from even 4 to 5 minutes. Okay, so that roughly makes up your 40 minutes. So if you use the maximum time, then you know you're roughly there. So if you use 3 minutes for planning, 32 minutes for writing, 5 minutes for review, then you're at your 40 minutes. So that's kind of roughly what you need to think about. And you should keep in mind that students who follow these steps usually usually get the highest band scores. Okay. And keep this in mind too. I think this is an important one because I have a feeling that a lot of students are doing this, and it's quite dangerous. So students who just quickly read the question and then write the essay as quickly as possible tend to get lower scores when they do not plan or review. Okay, so writing fast and writing lots is not going to guarantee you a good essay score or a good band score on the IELTS, because if you don't have good ideas and if you don't have good grammar or good spelling, then you lose a lot of points. Okay, keep in mind that quality over quantity is a very important rule in IELTS. Okay, so quality over quantity, and that's very true in your IELTS writing, and it's virtually impossible to have a quality essay without planning and without review. Does that make sense, Amra, Amrit, Mal, Emre? So we've got some members in here now. So does that make sense that using anywhere from 7 to 8 minutes of your 40-minute writing time for task 2 specifically is absolutely key for that better band score? And you know, I even made that mistake when I did my IELTS exam, and I lost points because of it. I did not spend enough time for review. I ran out of time for review, and it's because I went to the washroom during the writing section. So keep that in mind. Okay, so here is our task 2 question. Again, many people believe that making lots of money is the key to happiness. To what extent do you agree? Give explanations and examples for your opinion. So this one here is to what extent do you agree or disagree? And there's logic here. We're going to see that in a few moments. So here, step number one is just to paraphrase. Okay? With your own words. All right? This is not your introduction. This is just to understand and think deeply about the question. Okay? So let's do that together now, members. I'd like to see some really good paraphrasing from you. I'll definitely take a look at your writing. I'm going to do the same. Okay, we'll work on this together, and then compare. So. All right. So there's my paraphrase. Okay. Again, the original here is many people believe that making lots of money is the key to happiness. To what extent do you agree or disagree? Give explanations and examples for your opinion. Now, when you're at home, I definitely recommend paraphrasing the full question just so you don't accidentally forget what exactly the question is asking you. And you're going to see the importance of this in just a few moments. So here's my paraphrase. A lot of individuals subscribe to the notion. Subscribing to the notion is kind of a fancy way of saying that you believe this concept, okay? That earning much money is essential for a happy life. Now, I purposefully didn't paraphrase happiness with success because being happy is really being happy. I mean, there are some words like joyful, for instance, that are almost a perfect synonym, but happy is quite specific. So I didn't want to choose a different word like successful because that's a little bit different. Okay, and then to what degree are you in the same belief? So that's the same as saying to what extent do I believe this? Give explanations and instances. Instances are examples or cases, situations for your position. Your position is, again, of course, your belief. Okay? All right. Amra Abbasov has this to paraphrase. So Amra says, most individuals think that earning tons of money is crucial to enjoying a happy life. Yeah, it's not bad, Amra. Enjoying a happy life is a little bit redundant, so you can take out the word a happy. So enjoying life, okay? Amra, always work on being concise. Your writing is getting better and better, so it's really time to focus on that concise writing, okay? Having concise writing can easily be the difference between a band 7 and a band 8 in the writing section, okay? So most individuals think that earning tons of money is crucial to enjoying life. To what degree do you support or oppose this statement? Okay, now it's better. Okay, and I see that Mi Yen has joined in full speed with her paraphrase as well. So here we go, Mi. Mi says, I'm just, for whoever's watching, I'm grabbing this out of the members chat. And of course, to become a member of our channel, you click the join button next to the subscribe button. And if you aren't sure about being a member, definitely subscribe. Click that bell so that you can follow our schedule and you know when these live classes are going on YouTube. Okay, so Mi says, a myriad of individuals ascertain that earning a large amount of money leads to a happy life. To what degree do you support? So to what degree do you support this idea? Give reasons and situations for your belief. Okay, it's not bad, Mi. Myriad is a little bit, in my opinion, it's a little bit of a awkward way to say many. Myriad means variety of, a large variety of, so it's a little bit strange in this case. Lots of individuals or a lot of individuals, a little bit clearer, a little bit more natural, let's say that. Okay, all right. So myriad, just keep that in mind, means a great variety of. It's understandable, but to me anyway, it sounds a little bit awkward. You might want to ask a couple other native speakers, but I think they'll say the same. Okay. All right. Good. So here we've now got our step one. So let's move to step two. Step two, what is it? Members, tell me. You should know this. So again, when you're doing your IELTS exam, the strategies for planning when you practiced at home to get ready for the test should be very quick. Step one, step two, step three, step four. You only have 3 to 4 minutes. So all this time that we're spending in the class on planning, you need to do much faster when it's showtime. So you need to be able to do the paraphrasing, step 2, which is coming up right now, step 3, in just a matter of minutes, right? So what is step 2 here? What do I need to do now? And this has to be fast, and you have to train yourself to do this well so that you can do it very quickly. Yeah, identify the topic. And you should never write an essay or present an argument without knowing the topic, because in all honesty, between you and me, whether you're doing it in English or in your own language, if you are talking about a situation where you're off topic, it just makes the person sound like a fool, like they really don't know what they're talking about. So you have to identify the topic and the controlling idea. Nobody wants to sound like a fool, and if your audience is like, "Are we even talking about that?" Then you know that's not good. All right. So what is the topic in this case? What are we talking about? What are we actually talking about? In a very simple format. Okay. So, what do you think? Ghazi says money makes happiness. I don't think that's quite the topic, Ghazi. I think that's overthinking it. I think that the topic here is actually simpler in this question. If you're not sure, or to make sure, read the original question again, right? So many people believe that making lots of money is the key to happiness. Amrit says the topic is money is important for happiness. The topic, especially when you have such a short sentence, is often just one word. So think about it this way, ladies and gents. This is a good strategy or trick, okay? A good trick for identifying the topic is think, if I had to choose just one word, what would be the topic? Okay, because that is the best. If you can identify the topic as a single word, that will always trump. Okay. And me says, yeah, okay, it's happiness or true happiness. Yeah, and we can simplify it. We can just say it's happiness, right? Okay, so joy, happiness. Okay. If I wanted to use two words, I probably wouldn't say true happiness. I would say lifelong happiness. So if I really wanted to make it two words, I would say lifelong happiness, because it's happiness in life. So not as opposed to like a momentary happiness, right? So just being happy for a minute or an hour. It would be lifelong happiness, but we can just say it's happiness, right? So being happy, happiness, okay, is our topic here. Does everybody see that now? That in this question, really just the concept of happiness is what we're dealing with. Okay, and the controlling idea is money is the key to happiness. Okay, so that would be the controlling idea. Okay, so now we go to step 3, and step 3 is where the magic happens, and that's what has to happen very quickly. All right, exactly, Ghazi. So controlling idea is money makes happiness. Okay, so step 3 is ask what, why, how about the topic and controlling idea. Okay, now let me give you another tip here, all right? When you're thinking critically, this is another very important tip or trick. I would rather say this is a tip. Okay, so when you are thinking critically, let's get that down a bit so we can focus. So when you're thinking critically, always consider your audience. Meaning, think of definitions, explanations, and arguments from the perspective of your reader. Use quantifiable and tangible meaning real concepts to elicit empathy and understanding. Okay, I'll show you what I mean. So if you're kind of like, what is Adrian talking about? I'm going to show you that right now. Okay, so when you're thinking what, why, how about, happiness and money is the key to happiness in this case, then you need to think about, okay, well, how does my audience, how does my reader perceive these concepts? Okay, so when you ask the first question, obviously the first question, your topic question here would be, what is happiness? Okay, so think about a way to measure happiness and what most people would agree to. So as happiness, okay, it's a very, we all kind of understand it. We all think we know what it is, but interestingly, sometimes such concepts are actually very tricky to define. Okay, So members, let's throw this out to you. What is happiness? We can't possibly write an essay about happiness and what is needed for happiness when we cannot define happiness. Does that make sense, everybody? So you can't possibly write an essay to the IELTS examiner about what is required to be happy when we don't have clarity on what happiness is. I mean, when we say happiness, generally people tend to think of just people smiling, like, I'm happy. But yeah, maybe lots of drugs would be enough for happiness. No, just kidding. Or jokes, morning to night, just jokes would be enough for life happiness. So, but what is happiness? So what would you define as lifelong happiness, right? And I think that's very important to have an understanding on how do you measure it. Okay, Mal, if you have a question, just ask away. You don't have to tell me that you have a question, just throw it out there. Okay, so Amra says feeling of fulfillment, joy, and contentment. So you can't define, okay, so fulfillment is okay, Amra, but saying joy and contentment, so writing joy and contentment is not a definition. It is just synonyms. You haven't made the concept any clearer. Okay, so if I'm an alien from another planet and I ask you what happiness is and you say, well, it's joy, it's content, I'm not really much clearer than what I started with the word happiness. These are just simply synonyms. So simple synonyms don't really define the word itself, okay? Is everybody clear on that? Be careful, because that's what happens often is people will write a whole essay just using synonyms like this, and the reader is no clearer than when they started about the concept of happiness. They just know different ways of saying it, but they don't know what you're actually meaning by it, okay? So synonyms do not necessarily define concepts, okay? All right, think about that, all right? Right? Okay, so Amrit says happiness can enjoy everyone with spend time with friends or family. Okay, so according to Amrit, the definition of happiness is time spent with friends and family. Okay, so people we care about. Okay, sure. That could possibly be a definition. All right. Okay, let's see. Ghazi says, happiness is a great feeling that people can get, and it is a complicated feeling, and there are some hormones can produce this feeling. All right, Ghazi, you know what? I think you've got it. So a good balance, sure. A good balance of serotonin in the brain. So it is a biological, or it can be defined by biology, right? I bet if you're a person that has a lot of serotonin in the brain regularly, then you are a happy person. So that's a very interesting definition, Ghazi, and you could definitely write an essay based on that definition. I honestly, Ghazi, was not thinking about that myself, but it's very clever of you to think about, well, what actually creates the feeling of happiness according to science. And a scientist, if you ask scientists, they would say that having a good balance of serotonin regularly in the brain is the key to happiness. And serotonin is the happy neurotransmitter, right? So if you asked a biologist or a biopsychologist, that's what they would say. All right. Barad, good for you. That's awesome. Okay. So Mal is asking if I'm going to consider my reader's perspective on the matter, where does my perspective apply? Your perspective applies once you have found the common language or the common concept, right? But you have to be empathetic first, Mal, with your reader, and then you apply your concept. So you get to decide whether money is the key to happiness or not, or to what extent it's the key to happiness, right? But the definition of happiness has to be clear for the reader. It has to be sympathetic. So they have to be able to at least say, oh yeah, I can see that as a definition. Okay? Okay, Mi Yen says, when we win the lottery, yeah, but that could just be temporary happiness, Me. So it's big happiness to win the lottery, but is that lifelong happiness? I've heard a lot of people who win the lottery aren't necessarily happy their whole lives. Amrit says, getting a band 9 on the IELTS. Okay, Amrit, good. So Amrit says, getting a band 9. Now, as funny as you might think that is, Amrit, it's actually a good starting point. So when you're not sure how to explain an idea like happiness, you can think of a specific example. And I've said this before in the past, that you can think of an example of happiness and then think of, okay, well, what does that mean as a definition? So now you can say, achieving goals, right? So achieving your goals leads to happiness, right? That can be required for happiness, or that can create happiness, right? So achieving goals. Okay, so achieving goals, getting desired rewards like a band 9 in the IELTS, or if you really want to become a parent, having a child, that can be a great definition of happiness. So now we're starting to formulate a concept, right? And so there's a biological definition of happiness. Health and lots of serotonin. Okay. And there's also a social psychological. Definition, which is time with others, quality time with others, and lots of self-confidence, or self-esteem is a very good word to use here if you know it. Okay. All right, so once you're able to get to this point that the definition of happiness kind of is two parts, and these two parts are somewhat connected, right? You have the biological definition of happiness. Arguably, it's extremely difficult to be happy if you're not healthy, if you're not strong. It's not impossible, but it's more difficult. And the social psychological aspect of happiness, which is having a balanced nervous system and having lots of self-confidence. Vipasha, welcome to our group of videos. Now, you can see that once you've thought about happiness in this way, you can write a much more academic and effective essay. Okay, members, do you see that? So Vipasha, welcome to our group of members. I'm happy that you joined. That's fantastic. Again, to all of our viewers, just click that join button, become a member. It's as easy as that. And then you can join in on the chat. So Vipasha, join in on the chat. So does everybody see that now, that this bit of planning, and even if we're not planning anymore, so we're not, going through why and how for all of the controlling idea and the topic, at least now that I have this concept that, okay, happiness has to be defined from a physically measurable perspective, like the biology behind it, like health, a balanced nervous system, good serotonin levels, as well as the social psychological perspectives, right? So now we're on the right track, okay? And Vipasha says, happiness is when a person feels that what they have wanted to achieve has become true. That's that self-confidence, that's that self-esteem, that's the psychological aspect of it, right? Okay. All right, now we can ask a good question. Can money buy health and goals? So here I'm kind of doing it a little bit differently. So you can think dynamically. You don't have to be rigid. I always tell you, think what, why, how. Once you've practiced thinking what, why, how about happiness or about the topic and the controlling idea, you can be a little bit more dynamic, and you can combine the topic or thinking about the topic with the controlling idea. So can money buy health and goals and social status? Amrit says 50-50. Okay. So Amrit says in some cases. So, okay, answer, in some cases, yes. According to Amrit. I would agree with you, Amrit. I think that yes, and certainly in some cases. Can you give me an example? What would be an example of money buying health? If health leads to happiness. Okay. So I got a great example from yesterday of this for sure. So give me and keep your thoughts simple. So what would be a good simple example of money buying health and in some sense happiness? And I think some of you probably are going to come up with the same idea as me. Let me just straighten myself here. Okay. So what is an example of money buying health? Now you're probably starting to realize, like, whoa, this essay can easily get to 250 words, even 300 words. Lamia says money can buy health as well as avoiding getting sick. Lamia, that's kind of the same. So buying health and avoiding getting sick is the same. Try to think of a more specific. Amra says finding a cure from cancer. Okay, I think that's a bit overkill. So that's think positive. Okay, so finding a cure for cancer is more like getting out of a negative rather than actually being happy. Think simple here, everyone. So the biggest tip, the biggest trick I can give you for a good score on IELTS writing and speaking is think simple. Okay. So think simple. Bakrat says, I don't think so. Money can support health emergencies by achieving goals, but money does require lots of learning to compete. Okay, Vipasha says, yes, for sure, money can help in achieving things very quickly than it would take someone without any grants, just like buying a chocolate when you have the urge to have. Okay, that's what I like, Vipasha. Vipasha, simple, okay? Just take the simple part of your answer. Buying a chocolate bar, okay, or buying ice cream, that can be expensive, right? Not everybody can afford buying a chocolate bar. So here we go. What is an example of money buying health? Now, buying a chocolate bar is maybe not buying health, right? Because chocolate bars and ice cream, they tend not to be healthy. So it's still not the best example, but you're close, right? Ghazi, very good. So Ghazi says person can eat healthy food and can get good health. So all right, that would be a good example. Okay, the better your examples, the better your thoughts, the better your English, the better your language, the better your band score, right? So an example of money buying health and therefore happiness would be buying organic vegetables and fruits, like buying some organic strawberries that are nutritious, that are healthy, that make you feel good. Okay, so would everybody agree that buying some sweet, delicious, organic strawberries would arguably be a taste of happiness in life? Okay, would you agree with me on that? So would most of us say that, yes, if I can go out and I have enough money in my pocket to buy the really expensive organic strawberries from the farmer, those sweet, delicious strawberries would maybe put a smile on my face? Good, I see some thumbs up. So that creates a lot of empathy, okay? Okay, so that's going to create that empathy and that agreement from your audience, from your examiner. And, you know, I like to think that I'm not just training you for that IELTS Band 8, Band 9, but I'm also training you for success in life as well. And if you think this way when you are doing your school and your work, then you will see very good results with your audience there also, okay? So the chocolate bar was okay, but we have to remember chocolate's not all that healthy. So your reader might be like, well, is money really buying you happiness if you're eating tons of chocolate? Not so much. But if you're eating lots of healthy, nutritious foods, right? Lobster, salmon, you know, delicious meats, delicious fruits, delicious vegetables, certainly you are tending towards a happy life, okay? All right. So Amrit said that, yes, in some cases, money can buy health and goals, social satisfactions, right? Like going on an expensive vacation to Hawaii with your family. Or Disneyland, very expensive. Are you going to have fun at Disneyland? Are you going to have lots of happy moments? Yeah, most likely, right? So going on an expensive vacation with the family to Disneyland. Okay, sure. Disneyland tends to be a very common example in IELTS, so I would say maybe use something else, but the idea is okay, all right? So now, of course, we need to ask the other side of the concept as well. So does money always buy health and goals? Okay, so this is, Bakrat says Times Square. Yeah, if that's where you want to go. Vipasha says buying fresh watermelons on a hot summer evening. Absolutely, Vipasha. That will create empathy in me for sure. I can absolutely imagine buying a delicious organic watermelon on a hot summer day as happiness. Yeah, watermelons are happiness. So does money always buy health and goals? So being with family? Okay. Does it always buy health and goals? Okay, so this is an important question because remember, the original question is to what extent do you agree, right? Okay. And I have a feeling, when I'm asking you this, you're probably thinking about this. Does it? Does it always? I would say no. Okay. So buying junk food, right? Okay, so buying food that's not necessarily delicious or not necessarily, nutritious. So buying junk food, buying alcohol. So money can be spent in ways that are bad for health and bad for our goals. Okay. All right. So let's see. Amra says definitely not. In respect of health, death will eventually reach us all. Yes. Don't get too philosophical, Amra. Careful. It's just the IELTS, right? 300 words is what you should be thinking. and people spend too much time making money, therefore they don't have time to spend with their family or care for their health. So that's sacrificing for money, right? The sacrifices that we make for money. That's true, but be careful, because we're not actually talking about what it takes to make money. What if you, like you said, I think it was you, that said this, to win the lottery? What if you just win millions of dollars and you don't have to work for it? Does it still have that negative effect? Not necessarily, but you could still spend money in negative ways, right? So the way that we spend money for this question is more important than the way that we make the money. Okay. All right. Ghazi says it's not always, but money talks, and it contributes in 70% to achieve stable health and long and short terms of aims. Okay. All right. So now it's decision time, right? So you have to make a decision and write the thesis. Okay, the thesis statement, for those of you who aren't sure, is your argument that clearly indicates the points of your body paragraphs, okay? Please do not write a thesis statement like, I completely disagree with this and this essay will explain how. That kind of a thesis is useless, okay? So don't do that, okay? Yeah, and Vipasha says, well, I have seen a lot of rich people spending it all on alcohol, negative perspectives to being rich. I don't know how much people follow some of the drama that happens in the West, but one very famous situation just recently here in U.S., Canada, was the lawsuit between Johnny Depp and his ex-wife. I believe she's an ex-wife now. I can't remember her name, but anyway, I don't follow drama so much, but it was on like every TV channel and all over social media. And here we're talking about two very, very rich people worth, I don't know, hundreds of millions of dollars. And it was just tragic to see their situation. And I don't know if that's what I would call true happiness, but definitely not my definition. So yeah, we can see where, you know, there's a lot of money, but not a lot of happiness. So there are definitely cases. Yeah, Vipash says it's Amber Heard. So I guess some people know more about it than I do. Yeah, Amber, that's right, Amber something, yeah. Amber Heard. So Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. Yeah. You know, not a lot of happiness there. A lot of money, not a lot of happiness. Okay, so money isn't necessarily the key to happiness. So I would say that while, so here's my thesis statement. So let's write some thesis statements. Okay. Okay. Here's my thesis statement. And I have my point number 1 and my point number 2. Okay, so this becomes my body paragraph 1, and this becomes my body paragraph 2. Okay, so I somewhat agree that money is the key to happiness, as it is essential for securing health and goals. Okay, but it can also lead to dissatisfaction when spent unwisely. All right, now that will allow me to build an effective argument and an effective essay for a good band score. Okay, Parisa, welcome to our group of members. Happy to have you on board. Just join right in. Okay. All right, Amrit says money cannot buy happiness in some cases, like illness that cannot be cured, or drinking too much alcohol. Amrit, you've got a lot of ideas. Make sure you express it with clear grammar. Okay, I think you need a few more words there for clear explanation. Okay, good. So this is what, let me do that again, Ghazi. So this is what Ghazi has written as the thesis statement. So Ghazi writes, although money is necessary in people's, show belonging, show possession there, Ghazi. So although money is necessary in people's lives to solve daily, not problems, but challenges, because they're not really problems. I don't think it's a good idea to think about it that way, comma. I think happiness can be achieved. It's passive here, Ghazi, because it can be achieved by people. Can be achieved by good social relationships and physical exercise. Okay, good. I really like that. All right, that's a good thesis. I think that you can write a good essay with that now, Ghazi. Okay. Hello, Parisa. Nice to see you in the chat. Okay. All right. Okay, so I'm going to start writing here a little bit so we can move forward. Okay. All right. And then we'll keep going. Let me take Amra's here. Amra has gotten the thesis up as well. Okay. Amra says, in my opinion, although money meets our wants and needs, it is probable for people to be happy even if they have little money, and other aspects of life can play a more vital role in creating happiness. Okay, Amra, be more direct. Okay, so let me fix this. Let me make this a little bit better. In my opinion, although money provides, okay, our money, let's try to word that a little bit better. Although money enables people to purchase living needs, it is probable for people to be happy even if they have little money and have health and relationships. So name those specifically, Amra. So have little money and have health and good relationships, and have good health and relationships, which play a more vital role in creating happiness. Now it's a more specific thesis, and now I have clear direction as your reader on what you're going to write. Okay, Amra? So in my opinion, although money enables people to purchase living needs, it is probable for people, instead of probable, I would probably use possible here, for people to be happy even if they have little money and have good health and relationships, which play a more vital role in creating happiness. Now, Ghazi, Amra, be careful to not discuss a parallel concept and go off topic. Okay, so we are focusing here on money is the key to happiness. If we start talking about health is the key to happiness, we're starting to kind of go off topic. We're no longer arguing the situation of money and happiness, but we're arguing the situation of health and happiness. So you have to, it's easy to do that, and you have to be careful, okay? So be careful not to deviate. It means go off track from the original argument, which is money is needed for happiness. Okay, it's easy to do that, so be very careful with that. Okay, now that we have our thesis statement, we can write our introductory paragraph. Okay. And by the way, students, for band 7, 8, 9 on IELTS writing, yes, thinking about what you're writing is easily as important as how you're writing it. So the grammar, the vocabulary. IELTS is not an ESL exam, it's a proficiency exam. I always remind people about that. So introduction. It's an exam of communication. Introduction, hook, background, thesis. Okay, so hook. Okay, millions of people strive to earn lots of money. Strive means work hard. Okay, if you don't know the word strive, you can use work hard. So millions of people work hard to make lots of money to buy happiness. So you can make it simpler. Or achieving life happiness. So lots of different ways to write this. Just keep it simple. So millions of people work hard every day in hopes of becoming happy. or happier, you can say. So lots of different ways to write this. Just keep it simple, catch the attention of your reader, introduce the topic. So happiness, happier, and we're even introducing the controlling idea here. Okay. Ghazi says, people endeavor to achieve happiness through different ways. Ghazi, focus on the question, money. Okay. Notice how my hook includes that kind of concept of money, right? So millions of people work hard every day in hopes of becoming happier. Okay. Even I don't address it truly directly, Ghazi, but yours is even more general. Okay, so you do want your hook to be more specific. I think, Ghazi, that this is a bit too general. It's not leading me. So in IELTS, you have 250, 300, 350 words. You want to be very specific. Okay. Vipasha, very good. So Vipasha says this. Okay. So the English is a little bit off, but the message is good, Vipasha. So Vipasha says, let me do it this way. Stay organized here. Okay, so Vipasha says, the world these days is running after money, all with the notion to be happy. Yeah, so Vipasha, a little bit of a correction, but otherwise quite a good hook. It's very visual. I like that it's a visual hook. The world is chasing money. Okay, don't say these days, not necessary, especially since you have a spelling mistake there. So the world is chasing money. Keep it simple. Chasing money, all with the notion to be happy. That's a very good hook. Okay. That includes the topic, that includes the controlling idea. It's very visual. This would be a band 9 hook if it's written in this way. I actually like it more than mine. Okay. So let me steal it from you, all right, with that correction. So the world, it's a good hook. Visual hooks, right? If you can create a picture in your reader's head with your hook right away, that's a good hook. So the world is chasing money, all with the notion to be happy. Is it completely true? No, some people do it out of greed and power, but that's fine, okay? You're not working, or you're not worrying about all of that. You're not working towards those ideas. So the world is chasing money, all with the notion to be happy. Good. A background, right? So why is this topic important? Okay. The importance in the definition. Okay. Happiness. So tell people what it means, right? And this is where those definitions become important. Okay. So background, definition. Most people will agree that happiness requires both physical and psychological factors such as health and ambition. Okay, so that would be my definition. So here is where I tell my reader what we are talking about when we're talking about happiness, right? So most people, and let's take out will. We don't want to use future participles in academic writing. We want to avoid them as much as possible. Okay. So most people agree that happiness requires both physical and psychological factors such as health and ambition. Okay. Now, I can take my thesis and just put it in there. Okay, so there's my thesis. Okay. Here we go. Now I want to read my introduction. Before I read my introduction, I'm going to reread the task 2 question. Make sure to do this at home when you're practicing, okay? Because this is where you're checking, am I actually answering this question? Am I on the right track? Am I staying on topic, okay? So very important tip for practicing at home is before you write body paragraphs, okay? When practicing at home, before you write your body paragraphs, reread the original, not your paraphrase, task 2 question, then read the introduction and check to make sure that you are writing about the right idea and that it makes sense to your reader. Okay, if you can, and you can show it to somebody else, like another IELTS candidate or a family member or a tutor or teacher, show it to them and then ask their opinion. Does this make sense? Does it read as though I'm answering this question, right? So check. So let's do that now. Original question all the way up at the top here. Okay. So many people believe that making lots of money is the key to happiness. To what extent do you agree or disagree? Give explanations and examples for your opinion. Write at least 250 words. Okay. And my introduction, my response is, the world is chasing money, all with the notion to be happy. Most people agree that happiness requires both physical and psychological factors such as health and ambition. I somewhat agree that money is essential. Now I can take this part out because of my previous sentence. Is essential for securing health and goals, but it can also lead to dissatisfaction when spent unwisely. Nice and concise, so it's good. And I definitely feel like I'm answering that question specifically. So now I'm confident to continue with body paragraph 1, body paragraph 2, and then of course the conclusion. Okay. All right. So remember this tip. When practicing at home, before you write your body paragraphs, read the task 2 question and then read your introduction. In fact, this is such an important step that you might want to even do this during your IELTS exam. Okay, does that make sense, everybody? Thumbs up. Okay. Amrit, for the background, says money is very crucial to live. You don't need very crucial, Amrit, just crucial. Money is crucial to live and enjoy with family and friends in order to maintain a happy life. Okay. All right, Amrit says thumbs up. Bhagrat says some thumbs up. Yeah, so check your introduction. Okay, sometimes students, they just write an introduction, or candidates write an introduction that's off topic, and then their whole essay becomes off topic and more off topic. Okay, so careful with that. Yeah, so Ghazi says happiness is a complicated emotion, and there are chemicals responsible for it, like serotonin, which increase through exercise and good food. Good. Yeah, Ghazi, serotonin is not a hormone. It's a neurotransmitter, but otherwise good. Okay. All right. Body paragraph 1. Okay. Topic sentence. Explanation, example, connection. Okay, that's what you need to do. Those are the elements, and it's basically one sentence each. Okay. So here we're dealing with the physical and psychological factors such as health and ambition. Okay. Most people smile and feel in a good mood when they are physically strong and have lots of serotonin in their nervous system from gaining rewards and being fit. Sure. Okay, so that's my topic sentence. Just kind of visualizing it, right? So most people smile and feel in a good mood when they're physically strong and have lots of serotonin in their system. If you don't know the word nervous, that's fine. You can simplify for the IELTS in their system from gaining rewards and being fit. Sure, what do I mean by this? Let's not forget money. Having money to buy quality foods and experiences definitely play an important part of enabling individuals for these parts of life. Sure. Most people smile and feel in a good mood. You can just say feel good. We can always work on making it more concise. When they are physically strong and have, we don't need lots, we can be more concise and have serotonin in their system from gaining rewards and being fit. Having money to buy quality foods and experiences definitely play an important part of enabling individuals for these parts of life. This part of life, sure. Okay. Organic foods such as a delicious watermelon on a hot summer day can cost lots of money, or going on an enjoyable trip to Hawaii with family So certainly, in this sense, having finances are important. Okay. And there I actually have my connection as well, because in this sense, having finances are important. Now, if I want to transition to my next body paragraph, I can write something like, however, money and happiness can be exclusive. Okay, can be exclusive means they can be separate or they can be different. Okay, and what do I mean by that? Well, I'm going to explain that in body paragraph 2. Okay. Our second, Emre is asking, we have a second lesson in 15 minutes. No, Emre, our second lesson is starting from 7:30. So maybe I have to check the time on that, but it should be in 45 minutes. So if I marked it as from 7, that's my bad. I'll take a look at that in a minute, Emre, and adjust the time. Okay. All right. So now, body paragraph 2. As you can see, I'm still looking at the chat, so I'm still looking at what you're doing. I'm just moving along here with explaining my thesis points. So we're moving through the body paragraphs a little bit faster in this lesson. But again, I encourage you to do this, to write these, okay? Vipasha, avoid unnecessary leading expressions like generally speaking. It doesn't have value, okay? Make sure to write valuable sentences in IELTS for high band scores. So, i.e., do not write generally speaking. Because that's not high value, okay? So choose your words carefully. All right, body paragraph 2. Same thing, topic sentence, explanation, and example. In many cases, money can also lead to harming individuals when spent in ways which decrease the quality of health and experiences. Indeed, there are many expensive luxuries which can harm people, such as the use of drugs and alcohol. Still, that cost much, but eventually destroys lives. Okay. All right. And then our example recently. Johnny Depp had a tragic court case where it was clear that money led to problems rather than happiness. So if you can use a current affair like that as an example, and I'm just kind of doing that for fun right now, but if you can, sure, yeah, the IELTS examiner will be like, okay, wow, that's really, that can draw a lot of empathy, right? So recently, Johnny Depp had a tragic court case where it was clear that money led to problems rather than happiness between him and his ex-wife. Therefore, I believe that money is not absolutely necessary to be happy. Okay. And then the conclusion. Okay, conclusion has your points restated, argument strengthened, and a take-home message. Okay, start with in conclusion. In conclusion, money is important for some aspects of happiness, such as health and desire, but it isn't it is not essential past a certain amount. Therefore, people should not only chase money to have happiness, but should focus more on other factors as well. Okay, so I'm going to stop there before I mumble too much and read the original question and then reread the essay. Okay, and then I'll take a look at what you have in the chat. So now I can, again, so what I said to you, right? The important steps to a good essay in IELTS Task 2 is spend 3-4 minutes on planning, 30-32 minutes on writing, and then 4-5 minutes on reviewing. So I'm going to review my essay, and again, before I review, I want to read the original question. So many people believe that making lots of money is the key to happiness. To what extent do you agree or disagree? Give examples for your opinion. Write at least 250 words. And then from the top, the world is chasing money, all with the notion to be happy. Most people agree that happiness requires both physical and psychological factors such as health and ambition. I somewhat agree that money is essential for securing health and goals, but it can also lead to dissatisfaction when spent unwisely. Most people smile and feel good. See, first correction. When they're physically strong and have serotonin in their system from gaining rewards and being fit. Having money to buy quality foods and experiences definitely play an important part of enabling individuals for this part of life. Organic food such as delicious watermelon on a hot summer day can cost lots of money, or going on an enjoyable trip to Hawaii with family. So certainly, in this sense, having finances are important. However, money and happiness can be exclusive. In many cases, money can also lead to harming individuals when spent in ways which decrease the quality of health and experiences. Indeed, there are many expensive luxuries which can harm people, such as the use of drugs and alcohol that cost much but eventually destroy lives. Recently, Johnny Depp had a tragic court case where it was clear that money led to problems rather than happiness between him and his ex-wife. Therefore, I believe that money is not necessary to be happy. Not completely necessary to be happy. In conclusion, money is important for some aspects of happiness, such as health and fulfilling desires. But it is not essential past a certain amount. Therefore, people should not only chase money to have happiness, but should focus more on other factors as well. Okay. All right. So that'll do it. That should get me a good band score, and I've spent that 3 minutes or so on a review. Okay. All right. Amrit, what are you thinking about? I see that you're thinking, but I'm not sure what you're thinking about. Okay. All right. Me says, in contrast, when people spend money in inappropriate ways, their physical and psychological health will be affected, which leads to unhappiness. Very good, Me. That's a good topic sentence. Okay, a couple of small adjustments, but overall quite good. Yeah, so Ghazi says people can waste millions of dollars on bad habits like drinking alcohol and gambling, which can lead to depression and illness, right? Ghazi, even more direct. Depression and illness, okay? So money leading to not happiness, but the opposite. Okay, very clear. Voice it, spell it out for your audience, okay? Thank you for that correction. I don't know if you need to explain who Johnny Depp is. I think most people know me. So if it's somebody that famous, then probably not. Okay. But if they're not globally known, then Amrit, I bet it'd be pretty hard to find an examiner who doesn't know who Johnny Depp is. Okay, it's possible, but I don't think so. So I would just leave it in this case. I think certain individuals you don't need to explain. Johnny Depp is one of those individuals that I think just about... I mean, is there anybody watching right now who doesn't know who Johnny Depp is? I'm curious. Who has never seen it? Maybe I'm just being arrogant, but I don't think so. Okay. Certain individuals in history, like Einstein, for example, or Mahatma Gandhi, right? They don't really need explanations of who they are. And Johnny Depp is arguably up there with fame with some of those individuals, okay? All right. Okay, so students, that's it. And that's how you put together an essay. The key points, so some of the main points I want you to take away from this lesson, okay, are identify the topic clearly and make sure that you can define it in such a way that your audience, the examiner, has empathy. So what is happiness? It's health and social connections, okay? Also, make sure that you stay on topic, all right? It's about money buying happiness. So can money buy these factors, health and social connections and experiences? Is money all that's needed for that? Can money buy bad health and bad social connections? Absolutely, right? So stay on topic, okay? All right, everyone. Keep in mind that if you want all of our videos, exams, and apps, go to aehelp.com for academic IELTS. Sign up there. gieltshelp.com for general IELTS, okay? Awesome websites. We've got so many people making great decisions and buying our premium package every day, signing up, going to the websites. This is our this is our general IELTS website here. Again, just click this big red button. It's a one-time payment for lifetime access, okay? Same with the academic. So right there, just above my head, click that button. Do yourself a favor. Learn great English, learn great communication, learn great thinking as well, not just for the IELTS, but for your future. So take the right steps. We're a group of psychologists, educators, experts. So you're in good hands with us. Thank you, members. Thank you to our new members. We had, I think, 2 new members join in at least. So send me some emails so I can hook you up with your perks. And after a 30-minute break, everybody, I will be back with a speaking part 3 class where I will actually call and speak to our viewers. That will be an all chat class, so everybody will be able to join the chat as well. Do subscribe, do hit that bell button, make sure that you get notified of our live classes, of all of our content, of what's going on. We're here to help you. When you succeed in life, when you succeed on IELTS, when you're happy, that's when we're happy. So keep it up. Good job, everyone. And hopefully I will see you in the next class. For now, I'm Adrian, and I'm signing out from beautiful Victoria here in Western Canada. Bye, everyone. See you soon.